In this video, we're going to have a look at the today function. Now, this function is part of the date and time group of functions, and it's a surprisingly underused function as it's very useful for things like aging of debtors and creditors, perhaps depreciation calculations, any calculations where we need today's date. So let's have a look at its purpose and its syntax. So the purpose of the today function is to simply return the current date. Every time the file is opened or refreshed, then the date returned by the today function changes to reflect the current date. The syntax of the today function really couldn't be more straightforward. First we have an equal sign, as we always have at the beginning of preset functions. Then we put in today, which is the name of the function, and then after that we simply open and close some brackets. No parameters required. So let's have a look at a worked example. Okay, so what we're going to do to start off with is look at a list of unpaid invoices and then work out what their aging is. So this is a pretty standard task for an accounts receivable department or an AP team, so this exercise nicely mirrors a real life scenario. So in our workbook, we've got some data, and on the left hand side we've got the invoice reference, then we've got a system generated vendor supplier reference, then we've got an invoice date and the value of our invoices. Now, while like I said we've got the invoice date, we don't of course have an aging column, how long the invoice has been overdue for. So what we need is an aging column, and for that of course we need the current date. You could probably see that coming. So to create that date, I'll use the today function. So I'll go up to the top left hand corner of the workbook. I'll put in an equal sign. And then write the name of our function, which is today. And then open and close our brackets, because of course there are no parameters for the today function. There we go. Once I press return, up pops the date that I'm recording this video, 22nd of May 2020. And this date will change every time we open the workbook to reflect the current date. Okay then. To create our aging column, we need to take the invoice date away from today's date. So on the right hand side of the table, I'll put in a title aging. And then I'll create our formula. And then just to make sure that we can copy this formula downwards, I'll just fix the cell coordinates of the today's date. Okay, now I can just double click the bottom right hand corner of the aging cell. And now we created an aging column for all of the unpaid invoices in our list. Now, of course, from here, what you could do is create an aging bracketing column. So, for example, grouping those invoices that are overdue by maybe 0 to 30 days, 31 to 60 days, 60 days plus, or whatever your company happens to use. In terms of keeping this file up to date, all we'd need to do is just run our unpaid invoices list from our system, and then just copy and paste the information over the top of this information here. And that's it. Now we've got just a nice template for our aging for our accounts payable or our accounts receivable.